Right. Hello and welcome back. Ooh, we're having flashbacks. Or visions or something. Better get to that lab. So we're on chapter 15, we're nearly at the end. We are presumably getting the parasite thingamajig removed. Either that or we're just gonna hallucinate and keel over now. Anticlimactic ending.
Still you resist, child.
What's all this then? Can't really see. Oh, so these disappear as we get to them. Not that I can really see what they are, just weird shadows of stuff. Oh, they're like robed monks that are kneeling in front of this light. Okay, whatever. Here we go. Oh, no, we've died. Oh well. Right, roll the credits. Oh no, he's got some fight left. We're back up. I imagine that once YouTube's compression algorithm's done with this, it's just going to be all black and blurry, most likely. Because it doesn't do well with like dark images and such.
This time, it has to be different.
Right. Here we go.
You go first.
No way. Like I told you, I'm gonna get you home safe.
Don't worry, you just run, you know, remove parasite.exe and you're good to go.
Here goes nothing.
It will also involve lasers and a great deal of pain. Right, Leon, now you. Or not. Yeah, I don't think she can exactly drag him onto there either, can she? Oh, there's a chapter end. As suspected. Storage, what have we got? So. Right. Is there anything I think I will need for this part that I don't currently have? I mean, there's ammo in the broken butterfly. It's too bad you can't literally, like, in this menu, like, take the ammo out. I just empty the ammo out into your storage and put it back in here or something. I'd love to be able to do that. Because, yeah, I've got a new gun. I don't need the 3 rounds in this anymore. I could use them just spare to put in this. Because, of course, realistically, you'd be able to, you know, just... I mean, it's a revolver. You just slide the little cylinder out and, you know, empty it into your hand, get a little check and bullets come out. Put the cylinder back in, stick them in the magazine on this, but, or, well, you'd probably just put them in a little pouch on your person because obviously this is full at the moment, so... And then just slide them in when it's emptied up and there's some room. Wouldn't be out stopping that. No, we're not allowed. Okay. Right, at least one thing is good though. We've got a decent amount of ammo, it looks like. We've got rifle has got full rounds, well, a full mag worth plus 4 spare here. We can put those through in the shotgun. That'll put us up to 7, which is okay. It could be used to kill like a couple of tough enemies. The SMG is doing pretty good. It's got a full mag and a half. Pistol is pretty bad at the moment. There's 10 rounds spare and 5 loaded, but all that said, we've got a bunch of the gunpowder, enough to make 1.5 dozen shotgun shells if we need, or an absolute ton of pistol rounds. In addition to that, we've got there's the bolt thrower to kind of fall back on if we have to. Right. We've dropped a save up. Chapter results. Right, come. Oh, I didn't see what the other one was. Right, oh well. Accuracy was pretty good there, 80 odd %. Enemies killed 100 odd, deaths 8. Did an okay job.
Ashley.
Adriel probably got us.
I thought you were gonna die.
Okay.
No, I guess Ashley did somehow manage to drag us into the chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I did this. Can you stand?
The map?
Yeah, I found it. I think it says we can get out if we go this way. Hey, we're a team, right?
Keep this up, I'll be out of a job.
Right, here we go.
So, all of this, removing the parasites, this was Luis.
Yeah, we're alive. Thanks to him.
I don't know why it's wanting me to look at there, but okay. Get the supplies over a line around. Absolutely. There are 2 ways to eradicate it. Antigen injection and surgery. If the parasite has not hatched yet, it can be treated by administering antigen directly into the body. Once it has hatched, however, there's not much that can be done besides slow its growth. With surgery, it can be targeted and killed using a certain wavelength of radiation, but this is not without its risks. If the parasite has attached itself to the host's nervous system, the host will experience excruciating pain, and there is no effective anesthesia for this kind of procedure. Surgical removal carries considerable risks, even before the parasite has fully developed. Once fully grown, it's too late. Removing would kill the host, but considering what will happen to them, death may be a mercy. Can we spot him? I think that's him in the centre. There. Yeah, that looks like him in the middle. Europe Lab 6 Dream Team. Now this is the funny thing. I'm sure earlier in the game, I'm gonna have to look this up in my spare time. At some point he said like he was making a comment on the Hungarian weather or something, but everyone clearly speaks Spanish. Right. Don't be fooled into thinking that Las Plagas are merely tools for creating powerful bioweapons. Their true value lies in their ability to control. No matter how hostile the subject, a single injection can turn anyone into a faithful servant who needs spies when you can turn yesterday's enemy into today's ally. Controlling just one insider can bring an entire organization or country to its knees. Mass production of this superior species has made this possible. We have empowered Sadler. It is clear he intends to do what he intends to do next. Can you imagine if Sadler had that much control. 6 billion loyal servants at his sole command. There would be no opposition, no war. Maybe for the first time in human history the world would know peace. But I know how Sadler and the others have oppressed the people of this island for generations. I know how he treats them. There's no way to live. That's no way to live. And because of that, I won't let it happen. Right. This sample, which I've come to call the amber, was just sitting in the storeroom collecting dust. We used to have ample specimens for experimentation in the past, so it makes sense that this one was overlooked. In fact, the only reason I brought it back to my lab was because of its peculiar shape. After basic analysis, I've changed my mind. The amber possesses a very unique quality. Although small and in a suspended state, it contains the same organ found in the dormant species, which we've only seen in Sadler himself. When fully developed, the amber may rival or perhaps even surpass Sadler's power. Unfortunately, the amber was confiscated by Sadler before I could make any further progress in my research. He may be on to me. I need to get my hands on that sample again and escape in order to continue my research elsewhere. This is the only way to counter Sadler. Of course, I don't think I can trust this outside group either, but I've already come this far. Hopefully I can sweet talk my way out of this one too. I'll have to for the world's sake.
Someone had a field day looting the Umbrella Labs.
Right. Subject regarding our arrangement from Louise. I've compiled the research data that you wanted. Meet me at the designated time and place. To be clear, you're going to get me the hell out of here if I bring you the goods, right? Regarding our arrangement from AW, probably Ada Wong, the lady in red. I hope you haven't forgotten about the amber. Without it, the data is worthless. It would be a shame to let your seat go to waste, so do not make me return empty-handed. You still remember the code phrase, I assume. Right, I haven't forgotten, and don't worry about the amber. I'll figure something out. Think you can pick me up a pack of smokes on the way. Any brand is fine. Right.
Not the most uncomfortable place I've slept before.
Looks like we're good to go. So a few little story beats there. Kind of vaguely explain the plan now. Hey, all this time we've finally got an explanation to it.
I bet we could use that.
Yes, we probably could, but I'm gonna go and look around for loot first. Loot, 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 loot. There's no loot here, is there? Oh, there's something above though. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Where did it land? Where did it land? It was around here, wasn't it? Did it land here? Yeah, where did it go? Did it land on the walkway?
Sorry.
Like I said, we're a team.
Get the treasure while you're up there. Look, it's just there. Grab it.
You're getting good at that.
Right?
Ooh, it looks like it could be good. Or is it just a bag of money? Be a 5 gem slot treasure. It's just a
You
crystal.
sure you're okay?
Never been better.
Good. Look at this place. That woman who helped us. You think she's alright?
Oh, I'm sure she's fine. She's not the type to roll over that easy.
sounds like you know her well.
Right. Oh dear. Here we go. And stab. Ooh. See, so nothing here, just double checking before I run off into this and get the loot. Because there was definitely loot marked here. Oh, we're back in the main area. Ah, I see. Crap. Praise be to the holy insects. They have been promised paradise on earth, man, woman or child. His love does not discriminate. Beast, fish or bird, all creatures shall be equally blessed. Praise be to the holy insects. We are humble servants of God. His wisdom will overcome any mountain, omnipotence any ocean. The light of heaven dwells in all things. Let our bodies be seedbed. Praise be to the holy insects. We are the flock and the shepherd guides us. Our prayers will be sung all over the world. They will be heard by all. At last we shall exceed the stars in the sky. Osmond. So it sounds like he's created an entire religion about the insects. What have we got here? Deep beneath the castle grounds I have found my faith. Behold the divine vestiges left upon this world. It all begins here. Right. Somehow we get through here and do stuff. What stuff, I hear you ask? I have no goddamn clue. But apparently it does involve going through here. I guess. I think. Maybe? Yeah. Unless the point was to go back and find another way. So I don't see a way forward there. Mind you, I'm looking here and I don't see a way forward either. Right. Oh, I might get it. I think it's wanting me to go... Ah! There's a thing you can climb up there that I'd not seen. Again, sometimes these little button prompts, they don't activate from far enough away. You know, keeping in mind that the screen is really damn dark most of the time. And it's like, right. It's like, oh, here. You have to really like smush your face against them. We'll wait for Ashley. Oh, there's absolutely something over there, isn't there? You know what? It's quite dark. There. That is the wrong gun. I meant to use the pistol. It used a magnum round. Oh god. I might as well have fired a gold bar at him. Oh dear. Okay. How are we looking then? Oh, speaking of gold bars.
Oh, break's over, I suppose. Welcome. Wield him. What can I do you?
Okay, so what do we have available
Why
to
not
us?
try your hand at a new gun, stranger? Might save your life. Better to be over prepared. Am I right?
Right.
I'll buy almost anything.
We can sell them.
Stranger. Ooh, I'll pay a pretty penny for that.
Right.
Will that be? Might want to take care of any leftover errands before going this way. Be ashamed to live the rest of your life wondering, what if? Am I right?
Well. There's the point of no return thing that he's saying there. Right, before we run off, because it looks like that is the end.
Leon,
Just
look!
there.
Is that...
Oh, well, looks like we're finally getting to repay the favour. Right. Is there anything else? No. Looks like that's it.
Me out.
And then Leon and Ashley just left on the speedboat, and Ada died. Okay. What could we craft with these? Now, SMG rounds wouldn't be a bad shout, to be fair. We've got plenty of rifle ammo. We actually have, yeah, we've got almost 2 mags worth of rifle ammo. We've got 2 heavy grenades already. And yeah, I knew it gave you more. Like last time it gave me 1, now it's giving me 2. What is with that recipe? And what's 6 bolts times 2 plus, and why can't I make them? Right. I think we'll make some SMG rounds. Yeah. Then I think we'll make some... Ooh. Let's try some shotgun shells. We'll take some handgun rounds as well. Because we're likely to get some bonus ones. And more shotgun shells. I've got 6 left, which is enough for 2 lots of handgun rounds. We've got our bonus there. And again. Okay, our ammo is looking pretty good now, actually. Looking excellent, in fact.
Give me some space.
Hey,
With me.
hang on.
Okay. Let's drop a save. Maybe there-ish. Maybe I should have saved before I did my ammo before I did my ammo crafting. We can of course buy that. I will buy that. And we will. Ooh.
Now
We'll
try
get
that
that.
on for size.
And what can we get with these?
Oh, my back is killing me. Years haven't been kind to us, I suppose.
I think we're good for the moment. Right.
Will it come back any time?
Stay here. I won't be long.
Okay.
Now, Leon, this is where you're supposed to go, but we're a team, and you give her the sniper rifle. And you're like, cover me.
Ada!
Right. We need some really strong wood repellent. That's what the guy should be selling us. The shop. What have we got then? Oh, Ada's swinging in. Spider Ada. Always eyeballs and tentacles with these, isn't it? Oh dear. Here we go then. Where is there even to run here? Ah, that way. Found a herb on the floor. Ow! And I'm going to use it right now. Who would have guessed? Ah. Oh, can't evade that one apparently. Use this. Is there like a way to drop down somewhere or? Ah, I see. So there's one here and I can drop down from that side over there. Keep that in mind. What do these do? Oh, I see. Ah, and when it does that attack crouch, I am probably going to die here. I think you'd only really know what to do with this once you've fought it once before, so there's that. I can tell this will be another annoying... Well, maybe not annoying boss fight. This isn't actually too bad so far, you know. It's like, okay, shoot the weak spots on the giant monster thing, or you kind of try and lure it around. It's not awful. It's not like a gimmick or anything like the last ones. Ah, crap. Uh-oh. And try not to get landed on.
My child, do you still not understand? Why would you
Is he doing his... Yep. Ah, crap. Get it. Get the thing. Oh, was I supposed to do something in that interval?
Thanks for the sermon, Father. No, I'm gonna have to ask for forgiveness.
I think I was.
Because I'm about to kill.
Oh, he does it twice now. Well, fool me. Okay. Why did... Oh, I guess I'll let go of the aim before. Anyway, whatever. Ow! No, move, run. Get out of there. Ow! Twat! And we're probably done. Oh, and of course we'll find the red herb just after we've used it. And he starts calling in his buddies now. Okay, gotcha. On the plus side, they're dropping stuff, so there's that. One. Is it just the one this time? Hello. That'll do more than my knife will. Okay, I want you to... Okay, I'll admit I wanted you to drop ahead of me. Not ahead of me, behind me, so I can shoot that barrel at you. Oh, wonderful. Here come the bugs. That's a lot of bugs as well. Oh, triple! The Punisher actually did something. Oh, so many bits of ammo and gunpowder and stuff. Ow! Why? Craft. Stuff. Use. Run. Let me through. For the first attempt, it's not going awfully at least. Oh dear. Well, it just became a lot more complicated now. Stab. You forgot I had that, didn't you? Reload. God damn it, why do I have to reload then? Yes! To side. Almost all of them are gone. That's all of them. Hello! Ah, Neil got the knife in as well. Stab. No, okay. Stuff. There's health behind him, I've just noticed. Have a grenade. Does it at least stagger him or something? It did not. Shotgun could do something. Oh, God. Thankfully we've got the green herbs heal you for all the health in the world bonus from our keychain thing. So there's that. Uh-oh. Knife. Stab. Ah. Oh, wonderful. Even more stuff's dropping. Use that, I guess. Run. Run. Remain running. Ow. His attack's like way too big to just dodge at this point. It's more just a case of how many medkits you're holding on you at this point. Ugh. Is it just the one or no? Two? Okay. That's three of them. Ow. Run. Oh, we did a thing. I made it through a phase. Who knew? There's no way that's it is there. Nope. Phase 1 of 10 complete. Lord Sadler has evolved into Sadler Chew. He now like shoots you with electricity and like burns you alive because of, I don't know, sciencey words like bioluminescence or something.
Finally, look that suits you, Sadler. A monster in and out. Still, I need to cut this date short. It's not me. It's you.
Nope. Well. Well. You could give me some ammo here, you know, and some health. Something.
A monster in and out. Still, I need to cut this date short. It's not me. It's you.
Right, okay. Give it another go. This is all well and good until you're just out of ammo.
Finally, look that suits you, Sadler. A monster in and out. Still, I need to cut this date short. It's not me. It's you.
Oh, Ada's doing a thing. Well, I've got an achievement, your small time. So I'm wondering if that's it, if we've won.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing personal, Leon. Luis and I had an arrangement. Don't worry, I'll take good care of it. Ride's here. You coming?
I think we both know this is where we go our separate ways.
I see. Better get a move on.
Cute.
Until next time, Leon.
Leon! Where's she going?
Who knows?
I don't understand. Why would she just...
Gotta move. Island's
Why
gonna
would
blow.
she just go? Well, the place is on fire. Okay. Well, there we go. There's 2 minutes left of the episode. And we're off.
Okay, let's get out of here.
By the way, just before we look, oh, so there's stuff along the way. There's a save point there if we need it.
Now we can go home.
Well, actually, yeah, that's a point. It's just giving me some meds. I should probably
We're not
use
out of
them.
here yet.
You know, so that I'm not limping my way out. So I've no doubt that the game's probably gonna like throw some stuff at you here that'll hit you probably, you know, like rock slides and caverns and that. And this. I would have died just there. Yeah, nothing to grab as far as I can see.
It's over.
Nope, hold it. Grab, hold, do the thing. So the zombies are freaking out. It's like they've all got, what's it? Epilepsy or something.
Not bad. You like thrill rides? You're gonna love this.
One minute to go. I'm assuming we're trying to miss all the junk, and that it's not actually like loot or something. Right. 50 seconds. We're gonna make it. Not a problem. Uh-oh. Scraped it a bit. God, we're already on half health. I barely nudged the thing. Oh, it could be. No, it couldn't be much worse, actually. Yeah, we're about half health. As you do. Just pick a direction. There we go. I didn't look how long I left, but we probably have plenty of time. Right?
You alright?
I'm not sure that was insane.
Yeah, we had plenty of time. That was at least like 20 seconds.
Mission accomplished, right?
Mission accomplished. When you're home safe.
Thank you for saving me.
Don't mention it.
You know, I could put in a word with my dad. Have you assigned to my detail, if you're interested.
You don't need me. You proved you could handle yourself. Even if you could use a lesson in knife safety. Come on. Let's go home.
Are we over? Are we done? Is that it?
Condor 1? Bruce to Condor 1, do you read me?
I think that might be
Come
it.
in. I said come in. Is this thing even on? Leon. Leon, are you and Ashley all right? Where are you? Come on!
Oh, there we go. End titles. Overall, not bad. I can. The thing is, I would look back at. I would, having just played this for the first time, I'd say yeah, it's a pretty solid horror survival game. I think it's definitely like looking at the previous Resident Evils. I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely put it up there, you know. I think so I'd definitely put it up there with the better ones, you know. But I can see why back in 2005 this would have been, you know, like a absolutely amazing game. I can absolutely see why it would, because you have to keep in mind that this was the first one that kind of went away from doing the whole fixed camera angle tank control characters thing. So this was the first one to do this whole third person over shoulder camera horror survival action game. So keeping that in mind, that this was the first one like this, and not only was it the first Resident Evil like this, I think it was just kind of the first game in general like this. So, I mean, I think other third-person games had obviously been around, but, you know, third-person horror survival thing, you know, this like invented its own little subgenre from then on, and it's kind of been a staple with not just Resident Evil but a lot of other games since. So you can definitely see why it got such high praise when it came out. Holding it up against the others, I would say that these days it's probably more like a maybe like a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. I think, you know, maybe like 8.5 out of 10 if you were going to give it a rating. I wouldn't get like 10 out of 10 or anything. There's definitely some things in there that you kind of just tilt your head and you're kind of thinking, why? There are definitely things like that in there. Oh, are we getting a cutscene after the credits? We are. So Ada's got the thingamajig.
Patch me through. I've obtained the amber.
Excellent.
Just one question. What are you planning to do with this?
We do not pay you to ask questions.
Oh, is that Wesker?
Is a new dawn is breaking.
Do we
100
really
will
trust
give
this
their
guy?
lives so that just one may live. I am expediting that change.
Yeah, that's definitely Wesker.
So, we're talking millions of casualties.
Billions.
How ambitious. We're changing course now.
Yes, ma'am. So for those of you that don't know, he's the guy who's the boss in number 5. But yeah, it's always... I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Resident Evil, and it's because it does these like weird things. Like as I was saying going through that, like, why can't I, eject the ammo out of my old guns? Can't I, like, just remove the ammo, put it back, and stick it in another gun, Like, there's little things like that, and then there's other things that it's like how a lot of enemies, like the amount of times near the beginning. I'm just gonna skip the credits here because I hear a song starting, and I do not want there to be any kind of non-royalty free music playing.
Good work.
I got a B. That's not bad. Right. Pinstripe outfit, sunglasses, and a mask. Ooh, a nice hat. Oh god, now you get all the stuff into. Okay. Right. So, yeah. I'll just cycle through these slowly as I'm kind of nattering on here. So, yeah, I've got this kind of love-hate relationship with Resident Evil where, like I say, it does some weird stuff sometimes. Like, I mean, that's an understatement. Like, okay, so it will go out of its way to put, as we found out during the village sections, especially there, it loves putting enemies around a corner. And when you go around that corner, they grapple you. And they'll just get a free hit. Yeah? They'll just straight up get a free hit, basically. Unless you have telepathic powers, and you just happen to know that there's definitely a guy around that corner at this particular moment, then, yeah, you're getting grabbed. I've mentioned before how not only that, but as well as that as well, there's then an achievement for getting through the game without using a healing item. Yet they'll put plenty of enemies where it's just like a cheap shot. So good luck. That's just a recipe for infinite frustration. I mean, I really feel bad for the people who actually decide to go for those achievements, because my god, I would be infinitely frustrated with that. And there's other things like like that knife fight with Kruger, and there's just that bitch slap attack that he does that you cannot block, and the only way to really stay out of it is to just keep away from him, keep distance. But if you keep distance, he charges in at you, and then he'll just use that move anyway. It's like, yeah. So you're kind of at the whims of the AI as to whether or not you just get basically bitch slapped around until you're dead. If it decides to just spam that move, then it spams that move and you die. I'm sure that there's people who probably, speed run the game and done it without taking damage, who would turn around and say, yes, well, you just have to fully understand the AI of Kruger and exactly how to exploit it in such a way as to position yourself in a way that he never uses that move by using this certain gun and hitting this certain spot and doing this certain patterning. Maybe there is, but I wouldn't say that's good gameplay design. I would just say that that's just annoying and a bit exploity. But that's just me. There's things like the shooting gallery, like it's there, but then there's also these stupid little skull targets you have to hit if you want the 100% from them, and God forbid you miss a single one of those, and they are excruciatingly hard to hit. I could do every one but that final one, because I just looked at that final one and just thought, this is hell. This will take me 2 or 3 hours, I can't be arsed. And some of those tags, it's honestly a coin toss as to whether you're going to hit them or not. Because your guns, obviously, they sway, they move around a lot, you can't be overly precise with them, yet it will ask you to hit a target within a time, within time frame that's moving out of your weapon's effective range. It wants you multiple times to hit a little skull target at the back of the range with a pistol, right? And there'll be 3 or 4 targets that are there that will go away in a few seconds, and yet if you don't wait those few seconds, your aim reticle won't properly zero in. And so it's a 50-50 as to whether it's going to go and actually hit the target. You know, so there's moments like that, you know. And there's, I'm sure at some point there's been those ones with the barrels in the shooting range where you have to shoot the barrel. And they're hiding a skull target behind those. It's just malicious. So honestly, the shooting range was fine, apart from the skull target things. The person who originally came up with that idea, I'm assuming this was in the original, I hope I hope they got fired for coming up with that idea. It was terrible. Right? The rest of it's fine, but that particular mechanic with the skull targets is awful. I hate it. And hiding them in the bonus round is awful as well. Just infinite frustration. And when something's just becoming more frustration than fun, you have to kind of question as to whether that should really be in the game. You know. Now, there's definitely a certain thing to be said about adding challenge to a game, but then you don't, you know, there's a thin line between challenging and punishing, and making you redo the shooting range for missing a single target over and over again so that you can get the 100% is more on the punishing side than the just, you know, enjoyable fun side of things. That's what I would say. And I'd probably say the same thing to a lot of the bonus objectives and missions and things here. That said, I think a lot of this comes from old design philosophy. Like, you have to remember this game was originally from 2005, and it was at a time where you would buy a single player game that had to last you a month, right? A lot of people who were playing games then were a lot younger, and you'd buy a game like this with your pocket money and like, okay, like I said, that's your game for a month minimum. So having a bit more there, even if it's excruciatingly challenging and ridiculous, as long as it's additional content. These days, I mean, I found out I think it was a couple months back now, but when the latest God of War, Ragnarok, came out, I beat the whole thing on the hardest difficulty. There isn't even a trophy for it nowadays, so that's kind of too far in the opposite direction, where it's just like almost babying you a little bit. It's like, I should get something for doing that, please. You know? So it's so that people don't feel pressured into having to play the higher difficulties. So well, why? Why even add the higher difficulty then at that point? But I did it anyway, so I can say so, and I've got my save file to prove it, and it's saved onto my cloud storage on PS Plus, so that can be my little badge of honor, I guess. But yeah, so I kind of see the argument for having these challenging things, but still, on the kind of, again, annoying things factor, just something that gets me with Resident Evil though is, and they've always done this, like the bosses are very hit and miss. Probably the best bosses there were the I forget the name of the guy, but the guy with the hat who injects you. You know, he were an alright boss, you know. Your understandable mechanics, you quickly understand them. It's not like a tanky monster that takes ages to kill. You know, they were pretty good. That final boss wasn't bad. It seemed to be just about right, that. And I managed to do him first time, after a bit of, you know, doing a little bit of preparation. Not fully sure what I was getting into, but yet I beat him first time. Well, I say first time, but that bit at the end where he just slaps you with the tentacles, which thank God they give you a cutscene, a checkpoint there even. So not quite first time on that bit. But basically what I'm getting at is I didn't have to reload, go back to the shop and change out all my equipment and items and things. Thank God. But yeah, there's stuff like that. Like the other bosses feel very gimmicky, like the knife fights were just a gimmick, you know. It's not really like, hey, did you go in here and bring a load of ammo and, you know, you blast the guy and no. It's like, here, go and, like, honestly, they could have just been quick time events for all intents and purposes, those fight scenes. The one in the lake basically was, you know. He pulls you along, you throw harpoons at him, he eventually dies, and that's kind of the end of it. But yeah, it's... So I would only say there were 2 enjoyable boss fights in all of that. Oh god, and that Ramon one. They didn't give you adequate cover for that. Like, the arena was poorly designed for that type of boss. Right? I mean, yeah, he just wasn't. And the guy had far too much health. Badly designed boss. You know, I'd have said that if that was in the original and it was like that, I think they needed to rework that boss. Especially since it's straight after going through a intense area where you just ammo dump. Like, you come out of that clock tower with barely any rounds. They needed to give you more going into that. And again, just on the subject of weird design decisions, you cannot purchase ammo. I can purchase resources, but not gunpowder. However, you can get some gunpowder for spinals, but only twice, right? And using spinals for it is a pretty bad deal. In addition to that, then there's the whole what's it? So yeah, you've got this whole thing where not being able to really get ammo from the vendor, but then you could theoretically, and I think I came close a few times, you could theoretically soft lock the game because you don't have enough ammo. You get to a boss, you've only got a few rounds left. Like at the clock tower, you come out of the clock tower, you've barely any ammo. It doesn't really give you any. Have fun. You have no ammo now, and you will die. Right? That's it. You've died due to lack of ammo. If you've just saved it going in there and you're not doing what I'm doing, where you leapfrog your saves over. So, because I've always got into the habit of doing that since I first played Skyrim back in the day, because you could accidentally, you could really mess up save files and things in that game. So I'd always keep 2 as a minimum, especially if it were, usually if it were modded. If I were doing a modded run, I'd keep 3 or 4. In fact, I think I just start getting to the habit of always creating a new save whenever I were doing a modded run on Skyrim. But yeah, if you weren't keeping multiple saves and you're just saving and overwriting over the same one, and you got to that clock tower bit, ran out of ammo, saved it at the top, you've just screwed yourself probably. You will not beat Ramon. You know, it might literally force you to sell your guns so that you can buy like the RPG or something. It's ridiculous. It really is. The thing is, you'd go, well, then just use less ammo and store it up and get it all stashed. And no. Because you can't store ammo in your storage. So that creates another problem then. So it's a problem that's then also compounded by another problem. And I can tell you now, both of these are fixed in Resident Evil 5, if I remember correctly, because I'm sure in 5 you could store all your... I think you can store all items in 5, if I remember correctly. Which, yeah, honestly, looking at 5 now, like back in the day when I played 5, because that's when I first started playing it, I can see why they went to co-op after this one. They went, hey, 4 was really good, and we give you this person you know, basically, who's a fetch quest. Well, not a fetch quest, so escort quest the whole time. In fact, she kind of is a fetch quest and then an escort quest, isn't it? Because first you have to find her, then you have to escort her. And then you have to keep finding her and keep escorting her. It's just fetch and escort quests all the way through. So I can see why, in number 5, they just went, well, sod it, we might as well just be doing flaming co-op. Lots of co-op games were coming out at the time, and they thought they could jump on that bandwagon, and they were more or less a co-op game anyway. You know, why not just make, you know, Ashley, your partner, another human? That said, you can play the whole thing with Shiva as a AI on number 5. Nothing's stopping you. And she's actually alright. But yeah, it's been good though anyway. Like I say, I can definitely see why, when this was the first of its kind, that lots of games kind of came out and emulated it. These days I'd say that it isn't as good, because again, it's just got these old weird design decisions that are probably a result of it being, you know, from 2005. They seem to have like rounded a lot of the rough edges off for this remake. From what I've heard, they've added extra areas that weren't there before. The gem inlaying system wasn't a thing before. That sort of thing. I've heard that there's some annoying sort of microtransactions. Apparently you can get the exclusive weapon tickets for money, which kind of defeats the point of replaying the game over and over again to get all the stuff. There is a mercenaries mode that's just released as well for free, but you have to get it as like a separate download. I don't know why that's like a thing, but okay. I think it's a free download, but still weird. But all that said, yeah, I can certainly see why at the time it was seen as a excellent 10 out of 10 game, and it really is one of those games, like the way I see games reviewed. I think that some games, you know, you'd say they go beyond even a 10 out of 10. Because, you know, I'd put this in that category, you know, it'd be like an 11 out of 10. You know, this is where future games that are going to get a 10 out of 10 have to be from now on. It's raised the bar. This is, by the old standards, an 11. But nowadays, you know, this is the new 10. That's kind of where it is. Because I always see, you know, whenever people do reviews, you know, like I think a 10 out of 10 would be a gold standard. It does everything you would expect that sort of game to do, and then in addition to doing that, it's all polished up. It's flawless, you know. It's like a polished diamond. But when it goes beyond that and sets a new trend, and you see loads of games copying it, you know, I'd say that kind of warrants it to be like it's a cut above the rest, isn't it? And I think I can definitely see how this would be that back in 2005. It's funny to think though that Resident Evil 5 came out, and I mean I found it to be perfectly alright. And again, you know, it still has the weird tropes of Resident Evil and that, but apparently I think it was that one did good, but then 6 just bombed because it was too actiony. Even though, let's be honest, it basically become a co-op action game at this point. And I think that's kind of the issue with Resident Evil at this point. You can kind of see it seeping in as well with this, because the originals were more like you're fighting zombies. You know, Umbrella, they've created this virus and it's leaked out, and it was potentially like going to be used as a bioweapon, and it's accidentally been released from this underground lab in the city, right? And that's basically the plot for the first 3 games, and it's them then trying to cover it up using the very bioweapons that they've accidentally unleashed, you know? So that's kind of the general gist of it. It's simple enough story, you know. Umbrella bad, let's, you know, go in there and get all the evidence and get out of Raccoon City, and that's kind of the plot for the first 3. But I think it's this one where the plot goes completely off the rails. After this one, each Resident Evil, it's a different plague, completely unrelated to the one that got unleashed in Raccoon City, yet it does the same things, and it's gone from just, oh, it's zombies, to no. It reduces the victim's mental capacities to that other zombie, where they're really basic, don't really do much, don't understand, but they are like mind controlled, so it's more like a mind control parasite from this point onwards. Yet this is a different one from the virus that gets unleashed in 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Yet they all do the same thing, and they're not all zombies anymore. They're now like mind controlled zombie slaves. It's very weird. So like this is basically where the plot has just gone way off the rails. You'll have probably been able to tell while we were going through it, and they just start throwing people in there. Like, you know, if you were thinking, who is this, Kruger guy? You'll have never heard of him. He's never been mentioned in the previous Resident Evils. He's not a thing. They've just made him up, and apparently he trained Leon in the army, but then got betrayed by the government in the 5 or 6 year gap between 2 and 4. So, yeah. So he's just a made up bad guy that they throw at you in this to try and raise the stakes, I guess, and no one really cares about him. There's just some rando side character they throw into this. And that's the other thing as well. All these plagues that are, different plagues in all of these Resident Evils from now on, but yet they're all somehow related to Umbrella. It's a splinter group of Umbrella and the scientists, and they started working for some definitely not evil dude, and then they realised that he was an evil dude, and now he's taken over the world and he's killed the Umbrella scientists, but now it's too late to stop him, and we send in the Bioterrorist Prevention Organisation, or whatever it's called, that they're all members of now. So it's very... The plot has completely gone off the rails at this point. Just another weird thing with Resident Evil that I'm not overly keen of. Right, so you can carry over the data and start a new game. You'll be able to purchase new weapons from a merchant, but you cannot achieve S+ rank. We can finally overwrite that save data. Ta-da! And there we are. Oh, we've even got a new background. Look at that. But yeah, it is definitely something that I think kind of ruins it from that point on, because it's meant to be zombies, and then it's just, and especially when it's like, oh, and the zombie virus mutated and now there's tentacles and stuff. As soon as they started doing that, which they'd kind of done it with like the Lickers and the, with like Nemesis and Mr. X before. Though I think the idea with them is like, oh yeah, they were making those in the lab using this virus that they'd cultivated, that if it just gets put into you without them doing all the biogenetic crap, just turns you into a zombie. That was kind of the idea, and we kind of let them get away with that. But at this point, it's like, no, you just inject it into someone, and it, if there happened to be a noteworthy character in the plot, they turn into a giant tentacle monster. The moment you kind of let them get away with that sort of stuff, I mean, now we've got insect swarms and mind control powers and telepathy, and that's just in 4. It gets weirder in 5. I think in 5 they've got like literally like river monsters coming after you and stuff, and crocodiles and that are zombies apparently, and all sorts of nonsense, and it just gets dumber from then on out. Until you get into number 6, where it goes... I barely even remember 6. I know I played it all the way through, but it was just forgettable. It was very action-packed, but very forgettable. And you weren't really following the plot, and there were like 3 separate campaigns, and then you unlocked a 4th that was with Ada after you'd completed the other 3, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, I think they needed to kind of slow down on the ridiculous, like, well, we've done zombies, so let's do, zombies with all the tentacles all the time, and all the bosses will all have because it's like they're trying to one-up themselves each time. Funnily enough, not only does that happen in Resident Evil, it happened with like literally, it's funny to see the similarities between the Dead Space franchise and Resident Evil. They both fell victim to the exact same things. And Dead Space is literally Resident Evil 4 in space, but they've looked at some of the issues and ironed out a lot of the problems it had. Like, for example, not being able to purchase ammo and health, thus soft locking the game if you run out and happen to go by an autosave, you know. But then there's stuff like so they had the same issues with that. Well, they had the same issue, sorry, with, you know, it then went to Dead Space 2, and they had to up the stakes, so it wasn't on a ship anymore. Now it's on an entire station, and loads of people are dying everywhere, and Isaac's going out, and he's like a hero dude, and he's, you know, they're all chasing after him, trying to cover up the Ishimura and what happened there. So all the police forces are they having committed, and they say he's insane, but then he saves the station, and then you get into the third one where now apparently the cult of all the unitologists is trying to take over everything and infect people everywhere with the virus, and they're all chasing after him with like the secret unitology police, you know, and they chase him down to this planet where they find the source of it all, and the next thing you know, you're literally fighting a planet that's like a boss, and it's ridiculous. The whole thing's co-op, and you know, it's a mess. You know, it's the Resident Evil 6 of the Dead Space franchise. You know, the one that, and it put the nail in the coffin for it. But thankfully, Resident Evil's come back because Capcom just can't let it die, much like the zombies inside the game. But they have actually done an admirable job at bringing it back with 7 and 8 so far. It's actually been pretty good. And it's finally gone first person, which you think they would have done ages ago, since horror games are definitely about immersing you. Like, immersion is more important than even things like plot in a horror game. You know, if it's an immersive horror experience, it's more important that it has like a competently written plot, for example. It really is the most important factor in a horror game. And they've been third person this entire time. It's really weird. Honestly, would have expected every horror game ever to be first person, but I think Dead Space definitely has possibly an exception there, because it uses the third person camera quite well and sticks like all the UI information then on your back, which allows it to minimize the UI to practically nothing, which is it's as good an argument as ever. What the hell is professional mode? God knows. Right. Can I finally buy? No. Unlocked by completing a new game in the menu story, in the main story on professional mode without using any bonus weapons. Complete the main story in professional mode with an A rank. And you see, it's all just bonus. Yeah, all complete it like this and challenge that, and yeah, fair enough, but you know. So we've got Leon with his jacket, his shirt, his pinstripe, jacket with Ashley, jacketless, skull mask, flight helmet. Right, looks good. Okay, right. Anyway, I think I've pretty much said all I want to say about it. I've been prattling on for about 25 minutes. Right. Pretty good though. Worth the money. I think I'm gonna give it. I might go back to it, see if I do anything in completing that. But that's definitely going to be it on the channel. Thank you very much for watching through it all. It definitely, I think, toward the end, especially that Kruger fight, were beginning to annoy me a bit. I was ready for it to finish then, but thankfully it doesn't overstay its welcome too much. Like, a game can do that. There are games that do that, where you're just like, why didn't this end, you know, 3 chapters ago? Jesus Christ, you know, but not bad. Right. Anyway, that'll do it. I will see you in other series on the channel if you stick around. If you wish to do so, I would recommend you subscribe and get the notifications ticked on as well. That'll let you know if anything goes up. Typically there's something every day. Usually it's like a mixture of strategy games and little indie games, roguelikes, that sort of thing. Though occasionally you'll see things like this, you know. Surprisingly, I'm into most types of games, horror, all that sort of thing. You know, horror, strategy, roguelikes, deck builders, the lot. I think after this, actually I'm not sure. I was checking how many of these there were at the start of recording today, and I've done about, I think this is like my 3rd episode I've recorded today. It's been like a big session. And there are something like 40, there's like just over 40 episodes I think at this point. So it's a stupid amount of episodes. I think the entire, by the time this is all done, because I think at the time of recording it's just about Easter, and Company of Heroes has finished on the channel. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, God, it'll be May before this is finished, assuming I'm putting it up one a day, which I'm going to. So I'm not even sure what will be up on the channel that far ahead. You know, I've got this recorded and it's gonna go up every day. The other stuff that's going up, I've not yet recorded. I know there's gonna be, what's probably up is, I'm assuming, some Great War Western Front still might be on. And I think after Great War I'm planning on some Phantom Brigade that I've been playing and trying to find a slot for. And then I think there's a number of roguelikes I'll be playing, which may or may not have finished in the time it takes all of this to play out on the channel, because it'll take that long. But yeah, things like Death Road Tournament and Wild Frost and Wall World. If any of that tickles your fancy, or if you do want to watch more Resident Evil, there is a playthrough of Resident Evil 8 on the channel. Feel free to watch. It's all recorded. I don't think I went through the DLC, but there is all Resident Evil 8 with a few episodes of the Mercenaries that I tried out. All up on the channel. They're available to watch from the previous year. And like I say, hope to see you watching some of those episodes. And I'll see you in future videos if you decide to stick around. But thank you very much for watching this. And I hope to see you again.